What is up, everyone? Welcome to Module 6, the final module in the Ninja Masterclass. We're going to talk about how to retarget people, how to optimize, and how to scale your Facebook advertising campaigns to the moon, and kind of how to know when to, let an ad die, how much money that you can really, how much money in ad spend you can tell a lot about whether an ad is effective. We're going to talk about pretty much everything that you need to know to kind of take your Facebook advertising to the next level. And so the first step of what we're going to talk about, guys, is retargeting. So when we talk about retargeting, we've talked about it before, but we haven't really formally discussed what retargeting really means. So what retargeting means, guys, is taking advantage of custom audiences, taking advantage of pixel data, and showing ads again to people who've proven that they're interested in your content, whether that means engaging with your Facebook feed, with your Facebook page, whether that means engaging with your website, whether that means engaging with any of your content, visiting specific URLs, kind of things that we've talked about when we have created custom audiences. So for the most part, guys, when we say retargeting, it means that we're creating custom audiences of people who've taken some action in our ecosystem, and then we're literally retargeting them with ads based on those actions, right? And then we're going to talk about split testing, guys. We've kind of discussed briefly what split testing is. I think by now, all of us kind of have a pretty good understanding of what split testing, the idea of split testing, but we're going to actually show very quickly, just right at the beginning of this module, exactly how to actually pragmatically in real time split test, right? Because split testing is kind of an intangible thing. It's like, I think we understand it, but I want to show you exactly what I mean by split testing, just so it can finally be kind of hammered home, right? And so first, let's actually split test this little campaign right here. So I set up just a basic demo campaign. It's a traffic for a dentist ad running to our actual ClickFunnels page that we talked about how to set up. And I'm doing it for $1 a day, right? So it's spent $2.81 and it's already had 2 clicks, which is actually pretty ridiculous. So if we wanted to, well, first of all, let's actually take a look at this ad. So once you actually have ads that are running, guys, you'll just see them right here. They'll appear kind of just in your main ads feed. And so if we want to edit it, all I did was I clicked edit right here, or we can actually go into the ad itself. So if we go into the ad itself, now we're in the ad set location. If we want to look at the campaign, we can look at the campaign, see the total spend and things like that. We're going to talk about exactly how to set up these columns and things like that, so you can really kind of in a very quick way know kind of the return on investment of your advertising campaigns. We're going to get into that in a second. Let's talk quickly about how to actually split test though. So in the ad set section right here, if we wanted to see the ad, obviously we'd click right here, but in the ad set section, we can take a look at this ad itself, right? So come into edit here, and let's take a quick look at what this is, right? So it's a website, it's a traffic campaign to a website, $1 a day budget, right? We're targeting San Diego, 18 through 65, so we don't really know what the kind of age demographics are that are going to be best for us yet. We don't know what kind of men or women, right? This is kind of a very much so shot in the dark, and I wanted to do that kind of purposefully to show you guys, how we're going to actually kind of narrow this down a little bit, right? Because our potential reach is 89,000, kind of not directly up into the center here for the audience definition, a little bit leaning too far toward broad, right? And so let's actually, do this, and let's split test this and say that we only want to target men, right? So how do we do that? Let's say we want to keep everything else exactly the same, right? Detailed targeting, we want to keep the same. Age, we want to keep the same. Locations, we want to keep the same, right? We're not targeting a custom audience or a lookalike audience yet, right? Because we don't have any data. This is the very first time that we're running this campaign. And so let's say that we wanted to split test this and only target men. So how do we do that? So keeping everything else the same, it's actually quite easy, right? So we're going to collapse this panel, and we're going to come over here, and we're going to hover over this, and right here where it says duplicate, we're going to click duplicate, increase website views, right? We're going to optimize for landing page views. We are going to duplicate the original campaign, number of copies of each ad set. So if we wanted to duplicate, multiple, we can do that too. So let's actually create 2 so we can duplicate. And so once it kind of finishes this, it's going to create 2 other copies, right? So this first copy, we're going to actually, change the name here. once it's able to actually kind of finalize these little changes, you'll see this adorable little blue arrow moving around. And so this one right here, we're going to actually call this one men split test, right? And we're going to come down here, and now instead of it being all, we're going to click men, and we're going to click publish, right? And it's literally as simple as that, guys. And now we're going to click into this one. We're going to go to edit. We're going to call this one women split test. Right? And it's important to change the names just so you can kind of keep straight all of your different split tests. And we're going to go to women here and publish. And so now, you know, Facebook reviews all of their ads again, and some, you know, depending on things, the review process is normally shorter once they've already approved a similar ad. But now we're going to have, you know, the only difference between these ads, all of the interest targeting is the same, the age, right, the location. The only thing we've changed is this specific ad, the original ad we created, the original ad set has men and women, right, all genders. This one only has men. This one only has women. And so now what we're going to be able to test, guys, is if we're testing, you know, $5 a day each, or $10 a day each, or $20 a day each, after, you know, 2 or 3 days, one of these is going to perform best. And, you know, I would guess and I would assume that it's going to be women, just because in my experience, you know, women are the ones who kind of pick the dentist for the family. But, you know, I could be wrong. And that's the point of split testing. I have assumptions and I let the market tell me. I never get emotional with my advertisements. I let the data show me, right? So after 3 days, we could see that, you know, our cost per click is $1 for women, and for men it's $3, and for all genders it's $2, right? And so then we would scale the ad campaign. We'd increase the daily budget by, you know, 15 to 30%. And we could do that with a rule here, right? That we talked about before. Automatically, we can increase our winning ad sets with rules. And then all of a sudden, guys, we have a much more successful, profitable campaign just from a very, very quick split test that we did. Split testing all genders, men and women. So that is the basic idea of a split test, guys. And remember, you can change anything. You can edit the interest, you can edit the age, you can edit the location, right? And that is the beauty of scaling. That is the beauty of Facebook. That is the beauty of testing, guys. And so I just wanted to get that kind of out of the way, because we've talked about it a bunch of times, but we haven't actually done it in, you know, you haven't watched me actually do it. And I just wanted to show you just how easy that actually is. And so let's quickly talk about conversion campaigns. You know, we've mentioned this before, but conversion campaigns really are kind of, you know, the culmination of Facebook advertising, right? So once you have a bunch of data, once you have some purchases, once you have some people that have gone to your thank you page, then you can use Facebook's unbelievable amount of data to optimize to find more people that have, you know, that share kind of those commonalities. So we're going to go to our ads manager here. We're going to create an ad campaign. Start again, conversions, right? And so, you know, we could call this one like dentist conversion campaign thank you page, right? And so then, you know, what we're going to do here, and, you know, since there's no actual purchase for a dentist campaign, like they're not buying like a teeth cleaning on our website, then this one would actually be something probably more like completed registration, for example. So to change that, all we would do is completed registration, right? And then, you know, how we actually know whether or not that our Facebook pixel is going to pick up this completed registration is by installing that custom piece of coding onto our thank you page, right? Onto the final page, so that we can track that. Because what we're optimizing for, what we're trying to get more conversions for, is people completing the action we want them to complete. And in our dentist funnel, that would be to actually go to the thank you page, meaning they gave us their email, meaning that they actually want to sign up, right? That's what we want more of. That's what we want Facebook to find us more of. That's the purpose of the conversion campaign, right? And so that's just like a basic kind of introduction into how to split test, right? Which is kind of the apex and the most critical part of Facebook advertising, the testing, right? And then that is kind of the just a you know, a basic introduction of conversion campaigns, which we've discussed, you know, a bunch before, kind of before this module. And so I think everyone kind of understands what conversion campaigns are. But just to kind of hammer it home, let's actually go ahead and install this code onto the thank you page of ClickFunnels, just so you can kind of see the entire process to make sure that we're creating these conversion campaigns the right way. All right, so if we want to call this a completed registration, and guys, remember, we choose what it's called. If you want to call people visiting your Facebook, your thank you page, view content, you can, right? Facebook has no idea what these events are. You have to tell them, right? It just makes more sense to call it something that makes sense. So when you have like a bunch more campaigns and things like that, you're not like saying, oh yeah, like I called it view content, right? So we're gonna just do completed registration here. And so then how do we actually tell Facebook that somebody who signs up and actually gives us their email in the Ninja funnel, that it actually counts as a conversion event? Right? And so the first thing that we have to do is come into our pixel, right? And to get here, we just go to pixels right here. And we're going to go to setup. And we're going to manually install the code ourselves and go to continue, right? We already installed this code in the settings right here under head tracking. And so now we're going to actually install the standard event snippet, like the little piece of code on the thank you page itself. So we're going to go to edit page here. And we're going to come back and we're going to go to continue. And now we're going to grab the code for completed registration, which is right here, right? So we're going to grab this little piece of code right here. We're going to come into settings, and all we did was click edit page there. We're going to go to tracking code, and I already installed it, but we're just going to, paste it right here. Close this out, save it, and now every time someone comes from one of our Facebook ads onto this page, Facebook is going to say, okay, boom. Completed registration just happened. And then when you actually go to create a conversion campaign optimizing for completed registration, Facebook is going to use its beautifully complex algorithms to go out and find other people who are most likely to also convert on this event that we're telling it to convert on, right? Because a big mistake that I see a lot of kind of new people with Facebook ads make is they'll say, okay, well, yeah, I have a lot of view content events firing, right? Like a lot of people are visiting my page. That's kind of the event with the most data. And so I'll make a conversion campaign for that. Right? But think about that. What that's going to do is Facebook is going to go out and they're going to find other people who are also most likely to just view your content, right? At the end of the day, we don't want people to just view our content. We want people to sign up, give us their email. We want people to convert. We want people to watch our webinar. And, we want people to purchase the products that we're advertising for, right? And so if you're optimizing a conversion campaign for like view content or, view content or what would be another one? Yeah, like view content, I guess, is kind of the best example of one. It's going to go out and find other people who are most likely to also view your content. So, the things that I like to optimize for are, people completing a registration, for example, people purchasing, right? I guess even add to payment info is another example. If a ton of people are adding payment info, but none of those people are converting, Facebook is going to go out and find other people who are also likely to add their payment info, but not necessarily convert and actually purchase, right? And so the best things to create conversion campaigns around are, purchases and completed registrations, because those are kind of activities that mean somebody actually did something that's valuable to us, right? They gave us money through a purchase, or they completed a registration so we can email market to them, right? So we can follow up with them via phone and things like that, right? And so that's kind of a very basic tutorial into split testing. I wanted to do it very first thing in this module, just so you guys can see it in action, see how easy it is, and just to edit, duplicate, edit anything you want. You can change the interest, you can change whatever you want, and then just publish it. And then all of a sudden now you have 3 different split tests, and you can, after a few days, I like to let them run for at least 2 or 3 days. You can tell which is the best, right? Let the data tell you. Never get emotional. It's gonna be so valuable for you guys if you can prevent yourself from getting emotional about your own ideas and just letting the data really tell you what's happening, right? So would you rather create a conversion campaign for 100 people who visit any page of your website, 10 people who add your product or cart, or 1 person who actually purchased your product or service, right? The mostly correct answer, guys, is 100 people who visit your page. Just because if only 1 person purchased your product, there's no reason to actually make a conversion campaign for that. That's not nearly enough data, right? Facebook recommends having 25 event fires per week at the minimum, right? So 25 people purchasing your product or completing a registration minimum for a conversion campaign to actually make sense. Before that, right, focus on PPE to get engagement for your ads, focus on traffic to get people actually come into your ecosystem, right? The most correct answer, guys, is all 3. Because if if you have enough budget, then try making a conversion campaign for view content. Try making a conversion campaign for ad payment info. Split test and make a conversion campaign for completed registration. Split test and make a conversion campaign for purchases, even if you only have one, right? The most correct answer always, guys, is going to be those who test the most and create the most split tests are the ones who are going to be the most successful. And I know that's kind of a frustrating answer, but unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast, right? Facebook is a unbelievably complicated machine, and there's a lot of chaotic inputs and variables, and it's impossible to know what's going to work the best, right? You can make a bunch of really educated guesses, but the people who test the most always succeed, guys. So that is the introduction. Welcome to the final module. We're going to get deeply into this, where we're going to show you all of the best ways to optimize and scale and split test kind of in the most intelligent way to save you the most time, right? And this is going to be a very fun one. I promise you guys, by the time we finish this, you're going to feel completely ready to absolutely scale your Facebook campaigns to the moon. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one, and let's get to the next.